Thank you for joining me. My name is Christopher Smith, and along with Jennifer Risher, we are teaching a sixth grade history class, and this is an ancient Egypt unit plan that we created. It's a 2-week unit plan. What we wanted to do was to support student learning through using more technological and video resources in the classroom, along with more supported by certain instructional design theories. You can actually find this unit plan online on our website, which is right here. And it has all of the resources broken down day by day that the students will be using along with a lesson overview. So starting with day one, I'm not going to go through, I'm not going to read the lesson overview for each day simply because time. But I just wanted to show you kind of how things are broken down. So we have the lesson overview. We have a list of resources that we're using for that class. In this case, we're using Google Maps. We're using YouTube video to kind of introduce the unit. And then we were actually playing a geography game in which you are a young Egyptian looking for your brother, and you have to navigate through ancient Egypt in order to find him. And then this lesson uses the following elements to support student learning, and this is kind of the breakdown. So we're using television and video. We'll be using this almost every day. I think there's only 1 or 2 days where we don't use a video to introduce what we're going to be studying that day. And what we have found is that videos are a great way to introduce new concepts to young students, and that's supported in the research we've done. For example, we found that educational television programs have been found to have immediate and enduring academic and social benefits for child viewers, written by Calvert and Kotler in the Journal of Applied Developmental Psychology. So we'll be using that as often as possible. Virtual learning communities in the form of Google Maps, and then gaming, simulation, and micro worlds. Using a game to support the lesson and support student learning is always valuable, and so we're doing that through the geography game. Day two, we're going to be studying ancient Egyptian class structure. Again, there's the lesson overview, resources, YouTube video again, and a social structure pyramid. And then again, this supports the following elements to support learning: television and video, anchored instruction. Anchored instruction basically is using hooks to to engage with students, and that's again supported via our research. That video allows a more vertidactical representation of events. It is dynamic, visual, and spatial, and students can more easily form rich mental models of the problem situations. And that's from the reading Anchored Instruction, Its Relationship to Situated Cognition. Basically, anchored instruction through video supplements gives our students the opportunity to appreciate seeing history rather than just reading about it. And again, along with that is situated cognition, where basically knowing is inseparable from doing. That's directly from our research. And so when you're actually having them do an activity, that definitely supports learning. And then collaboration here, they're going to be working with their peers socially to actually construct this class structure. Day three, mummification. There's a couple of videos we're going to be watching, and then we're actually going to be doing a project on mummifying an apple. This is the result over here, what that should look like at the end. And again, we're going to be using television and video, anchored instruction, situated cognition, and collaboration on this. Day four, we're going to have the students are going to be doing a web quest. They're going to be creating a travel brochure to Egypt, and they can find the link to the web quest here. And so this is one of the videos we're not using video, but we'll be focusing on collaboration. They'll be working with their peers. Instructional design theories, in this case, the web quest itself. Goal-based scenario, again, the web quest, and then learning by design by creating that travel brochure. Day five, hieroglyphics and the Rosetta Stone. Couple of videos, and then Write Like an Egyptian, which is a online translator that allows students to go in and actually take a look at the put in what they want to study, and then actually pops out the um, the translation in hieroglyphics. And this is using television video again, anchored instruction, using those videos as hooks, and situated cognition. Day 6, we're going to be studying ancient Egyptian religion. We're going to start with a video on the Egyptian creation myth, and then students will be working together in a group to actually create a gallery walk of the various gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt. So they'll be doing a research project to, choosing a god, and then outlining the different information about that god, and then we're going to be putting it up on the walls, and students can go through and learn about each one. So they're actually going to be teaching each other as well. So again, television and video, anchored instruction, collaboration, a goal-based scenario, and then learning by design through this research project. Day 7, we're going to be studying the pyramids. We're actually going to be creating our own and then calculating the volume to get a sense of scale. So we're going to watch a video on the pyramids, on the construction. They're actually going to be creating their own pyramid, their own 3D pyramid, and calculating the volume of that pyramid. And then using that information, we'll actually be able to calculate the volume of the Great Pyramids of Giza to actually get a sense of scale for how big these things are. And again, television and video, anchored instruction, situated cognition, and collaboration. We tend to use those a lot in a class. Day 8, we're going to be following up on the lesson from day 1. We're actually going to be doing a virtual tour of Egypt. So we're going to be using this NOVA program to actually go through and do a virtual tour of Egypt. And so again, there's no video on this day. On the few days we're not, but we are anchoring the instruction through the virtual tour, and then of course we're using the virtual tour as a virtual learning community. Day 9, Nile River. We're going to be looking at the impact of the Nile River and its effect on daily life within ancient Egypt. There's going to be a journal article involved with that as well, where the students can be writing the journal article from the point of view of a person living in ancient Egypt. So we're going to start off with a video and then slide into that. And so again, we're going to be using television and video, anchored instruction, using that video as a hook, and then situated cognition in the form of the journal activity to really get into what life was like back then. And then finally, we're going to end with visual arts, and we're going to be making our own Egyptian death mask in the style of King Tut. And so there's a video we're going to watch on King Tut's death mask, and then there's a project where students are going to be creating their own death mask. This will not be finished within class. This will be something that they're going to finish over the weekend at home. It'll be their homework for over the weekend, and then bring it back in on Monday, and we'll put it up in the class, use as decoration. So it's a fun little project. It lets them get their hands dirty and really have some fun. And again, it's using television, video, anchored instruction, situated cognition, goal-based scenario, and then finally learning by design. So try to use that as much as possible. So basically, the unit plan, we try to incorporate as much of the learning theories and technological elements to our class, as often as possible and whenever possible. We found that a lot of these overlap. So, for example, incorporating video then allows us to use that video as a hook for the lesson that day, and then using that, and then once you have that hook, you then put the students into a scenario or activity that then where a situation comes into play. So we try to have those interweave those as much as possible. And really we didn't want these to be teacher centric. We wanted these to, we wanted the students to be inspired, have them be engaged and kind of learn on their own, building on their prior knowledge. And then it's also more fun. It lets the students, it's more relevant for them. It's more current for middle school age children, where they can watch videos and on YouTube, which is something they're very used to, and then hopefully explore it further on their own, with the overall goal here of maximizing the learning outcomes for students. Helping them remember the lessons that they've learned, and not just memorize facts and figures and dates and people and places. So thank you for watching this far. We went a little long. I appreciate any feedback. Thank you.